Welcome friends, welcome back to the kitchen. So today I'm going to make a recipe that is inspired by the events of July. So the first couple of weeks of July, Julie and I were in Quebec City. We went down to Quebec City for FEC. We go to FEC every year. The greatest music festival that you've never heard of because you don't speak French. 10 nights of incredible bands out on the plains of Abraham. Every night, close to 110,000 people out in front of this giant, enormous stage. And the last night we were there, we saw Rage Against the Machine. Now, in this cast iron pan, I've put a little bit of oil. I've got it on medium-high heat, and we want to saute off an onion. I have a yellow pepper here. It could be green pepper, it could be red pepper, it could be any kind of pepper you want. And I've got a jalapeno. So we just want to saute these off and soften them. So we're in Quebec City for almost 2 weeks. And I got to tell you, even in, we rent an apartment. Even in an apartment with a kitchen, you're out all the time, you're going to concerts, there's lots of stuff to do during the day in Quebec City. You end up eating out almost every night. And 10, 12, 14 nights of eating out in restaurants gets a little bit hard to do, for me anyway. So there's a couple of diners that we go to, family-run diners, comfort food, and so probably 3 nights out of the 12, I ate Pâté Chinois. I absolutely love Pâté Chinois. And it occurred to me that I should make one on the show. But Pâté Chinois is essentially what in the Commonwealth you would call cottage pie. Everywhere else it would be called shepherd's pie. And I thought, no, I've already done shepherd's pie a couple of times. I'm not going to do it again. So this is softened off nicely. I have some ground beef, a chub of ground beef. And I always keep a chub or two of ground beef in the freezer for a dish just like this. It's really easy to pull it out, thaw it, and then cook it. And it's affordable. And I know that right now, the world we live in, a lot of people are looking for affordable meals. So this is an affordable meal. Anyway, so I've already done cottage pie and shepherd's pie a couple of different ways. And I thought, I can't really do that. So fast forward a week from being in Quebec City, Julie and I end up in Mexico with the Glen and Friends trip. Welcome friends, welcome to Mexico! Okay, so I've got some garlic and just gonna squeeze that garlic in here. Now, for everyone who's screaming that I should have browned the beef separate from the vegetables, sauteed the vegetables, taken them out, put the beef in, fried it really at a high heat in order to really brown it off so that you build that flavor. That's a great idea. Absolutely a great idea. This is a very simplified dish, and there's a whole lot of flavor that's going to happen soon that browning step becomes less important. Also because we're going to put it in the oven and we're going to bake it for a while. All of these flavors come together. That browning step really isn't as important as it would be if we didn't add some of these flavors later. Anyway, so we're in Mexico. We ate a lot of great food. We made a lot of new friends with the people that came on the trip with us. But partway through the trip, I had chipped a tooth just before going on the trip. And I ended up having to have an emergency tooth extraction in Oaxaca at a dentist. Got the tooth out fine. I felt way better after getting the tooth out, but the dentist really reefed on my jaw. And as much as I can talk now and it's not painful, I can't actually open my mouth to get a spoonful of food in, and I can't really chew all that well. So I was looking for a dish that was easy to eat. And I thought, some of the flavors that we experienced in Mexico would go really well in this. So this isn't Mexican flavor per se, it's more of a Southwest flavor. We're making a Southwest cottage pie or a Southwest shepherd's pie, whatever you want to call it. I'm easy in that regard. Okay, so at this point, I have some chipotle and adobo, and I'm going to put that in. Get that stirred in there, looking good. Now, this is our homemade taco spice, and I'll try to link to the video down below of where we make this. The beauty of making this spice combination is that you can play with the variations and nail it down to exactly what you want. This one that I've got here has chocolate in it, and the chocolate adds this sort of smooth, deep, dark undertone to the beef flavor, and it works really well. But if what you want to do is use a packet of taco spice mix that you buy at the grocery store, go right ahead, just use a packet of that. I'm going to put in a good heaping tablespoon, maybe a tablespoon and a half. And we'll stir that in. From here, it's pretty easy. So, I've got some frozen corn, that goes in. A can of Rotel tomatoes. If you live somewhere where you can't get Rotel, a can of tomatoes works just fine. A jar of store-bought salsa would be an amazing substitute for the Rotel. Probably even better than this. I've got a can of black beans and a can of pinto beans. Beyond adding texture and flavor, the beans are a meat extender. That's really one of the things that it comes down to. They extend your protein. They make the dish a little bit cheaper while still keeping it filling and tasty. I've got a can of these roasted chopped green chilies. In they go. To that, I'm going to add a couple of scoops of sour cream. Let's see, that's good. I'm just going to mix this, get it all really well incorporated. Now I've done it in an enameled cast iron pan. You could do it in any pan as long as it's oven safe. That's the most important part here because we are going to put this in the oven at some point. That mixed together looks really good. Now, last ingredient, secret ingredient, the ingredient that I use in pretty much anything that I have beef or ground beef, and that is Marmite. And the Marmite just ups that umami, that beefy feeling that you get when you eat something. So I'm going to do about a tablespoon of Marmite, and we'll mix that in. And don't fear the Marmite. You know, and I've had a lot of comments. I use Marmite a lot, and I've had a lot of comments down in the comments section from people who have said, I didn't think I'd like Marmite, and I gotta tell you, I don't like Marmite either. Even the thinnest little skim on a piece of toast just makes me gag. It's horrible. But you put it in a stew or a soup or something with beef, and the flavor is amazing. And that's what people have said in the comments is, you know, I didn't think I'd like it, but I put it in, and it just did amazing things to the other flavors. Really brought the other flavors forward. So don't fear the Marmite. So we'll stir that in. Now, the last thing I'm going to put on is a layer of potatoes. So, mashed potatoes. Potatoes boiled in water, mashed up with some salt, pepper, cream, butter, that sort of thing. You could put other flavorings in. Other flavorings would work really well. Something that would complement what's going on in the rest of the dish. But of course, you don't have to use mashed potatoes. I'm just using mashed potatoes because I really love mashed potatoes. But you could put on here cornmeal, like a cornmeal mush. That would work really well. You could put on crushed up nacho chips. A couple layers of corn tortillas would work really well. That would be amazing. So I'm just going over it with a fork, getting lots of little craggy bits that in the oven will start to get brown and crispy. And then I'm gonna put this in the oven for about an hour, bring all of the flavors together, get the top a little bit brown and crispy, and then I'm going to pull it out, sprinkle some cheese on top, some shredded cheese, and then put it back in to let the cheese get nice and crispy. So, into the oven this goes, and we'll see you in a little while. Hey, Jules.
Hey, Glenn. Hey, friends. That's a tough one. Looks like it's. Does it have macaroni in it? No.
No, well, it's so.
Tough one is spoon or fork. I wasn't sure.
Let's call it Pâté Tex Mex.
Pâté Tex Mex. Can you put another language in there?
Like yeah, like Pâté Chinois, but Tex Mex flavored Pâté Chinois.
Okay. Now I understand.
And it's small, and I might be able to get this in through my teeth, so I can actually taste it. Wait, it's hot.
It is. I can still by the steam.
Yeah, I might wait a moment because it's just gonna burn my tongue.
We're gonna pause.
Okay.
Okay. We've had a pause. Welcome back.
So that's really good. I like
That's lovely. That's got that comfort of potatoes and all the comfort of the kind of tradition of the dish with that twist, the twist of flavor.
Tiny little bites.
I'm just gonna have this big bite. Yeah.
It hurts. It hurts a lot to get my jaw open even that much. Okay, so like I said earlier, I put potatoes on top, but cornmeal mush on top would be great.
Yep.
And that puts it into, the territory of adjacent to tamale pie, but not tamale pie, but beside tamale pie. You could put crushed up nacho chips on top. Mm-hmm. Doritos. I mean, you could put Doritos.
Doritos might be too much, man. But
but for some people, Doritos would. That's perfectly. That's exactly what it
I feel like that would be like a giant flavor bomb. Wow.
Would be huge.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that you can play with this, and this is one of those dishes where you can hide some vegetables for people that may not want vegetables.
No need to hide them.
I mean, I only put in corn and yellow bell pepper as a vegetable, but you could hide other things in there, or not even hide other things in there.
Carrots.
Put them right in. Yeah, definitely.
Broccoli, cauliflower.
Lots of room to play with this, and don't worry that it doesn't conform to one single recipe idea. So it's not cottage pie, it's not shepherd's pie, it's not tamale pie, but it's something new that you've made for your family. Thanks for stopping by. See you again soon. Can I get one more scoop in?
Maybe. Oh, well done.